Ho! Make a lot of noises at the beginning of the show, and it will make people get so mad. I gotta check my mic stand here. I moved it earlier. All right, there we go. Brha! What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's Friday. I was trying to click the buttons there on the old computer, and I think I got it. I think I got to figure it out. It's Friday. Everybody's here. And let's check in with who's here already. Jerry X coming in first. Alyssa Bentley, Ricardo Santiago, Rumbust himself with a super chat for the day and the year 2019. Swedish Kroner coming in strong in on a whatever day it is today, Friday, the 22nd of November in 2019. Having some fun with some numbers and having some fun on a Friday. We're here. We got some posts to the Patreon that we're going to be going through. We got some things going on a beautiful, lovely Friday. I try to alternate and have an early show on a Friday here and there, namely for all of our lovely friends in Europe, so that they can, at the very least, show up for a live stream here and there. I think it doesn't really affect the U.S. people that much, because it's normally 3 o'clock in the afternoon my time, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, early evening on the East Coast, but then headed off to Europe. It's like midnight, 1 a.m. there, so it's a little late. So today we're starting at noon my time, which makes kind of the evening hour for the Europeans that want to stop in and say hi. As Kevin's Aquarium says, at Vivarium, I recognized your face all the way out there from Belgium. So perfect example right there of a European able to make it to a live stream because, hey, it's early enough. I know a lot of people, they got either plans for Friday night or they're just straight up asleep getting ready for their Saturday morning. So, hey, I think it's a good opportunity to do some early shows when I can. Joel Gillett even making it all the way out from New Zealand, which New Zealand, it's probably like tomorrow morning or something crazy like that. I mean, I never really know I never know what time it is in New Zealand because it confuses the bejeebus out of me, because it's like tomorrow at some point in time. So it's like it's Friday where I'm at, so it's Saturday some weird time tomorrow. And sometimes I do have to look it up, and try and figure it out. We got Rack Cross from River Life in the chat. What's up, my man? Good to see you. Long time since I've seen you in person. Someday we'll cross paths again and probably have some laughs and whatnot. For now, we have to settle with the old power of the internet, which got a little boost today. The internet man was out there fixing something on one of the relay boxes and was like, oh, well, I'm going to check and do a little speed test before and after, see what he's doing. Well, he configured something and it went up just a little bit. As you guys know, I have to pay for I have the fiber optic here. I essentially, to get fiber optic, I had to pay for the maximum fiber optic. So it just was kind of one of those weird deals with the internet people, company, corporation, monolithic corporation kind of deal where they're like, oh, if you want to have really nice internet, you got to pay for the best. So, but did a little speed test and realized that they configured something and repaired something without even me having to ask, which is nice. But it does beg the question, did one of my neighbors make the request, right? And I don't know. That I don't know. I only talked to like half of my neighbors. I don't really... Some of them are very antisocial, so I don't know if I'll ever get an answer to the question that really only applies to me, right? Kevin's Aquarium says, I was the other man with the Zion gimbal, Jun Zion, I don't know how to say it, but, I guess I can, since you bring that up, I do want to mention, hold on. Sorry. I had to go get it, you guys. It was over there on the shelf. But I literally used this gimbal while in the Netherlands, and I did buy this with my own money. It's the new Weeble gimbal, and I have to say I was very impressed with it. It worked very well. It is considerably better than the previous Weeble. As you can see, I kind of dinged it up already, and it's already got some wear and tear on it. But I have to say, this one is an incredible gimbal. It was like $400. So, it's one of those things where you got to but I pre-ordered mine, so now it's like $439 or whatever. I have to admit, it does everything that it was supposed to do and does it actually very well in a very compact form. Like I said, I paid for it with my own money, so I guess it's an honest opinion. It just does all of the things that it's supposed to do. So I was very happy with it. It has a lot of features that a lot of other gimbals don't have, like the fact that you can collapse it and lock everything into position. So there's these little locks on here. So you unlock it, and then you see you get the swivel, you relock it, and you can actually carry it around. That is, I don't know if there's any other gimbals that do that, but that's something that always drove me nuts about the old ones. There's a link to it. I posted it in the chat. If anybody out there is trying to find a gimbal, that is, in my opinion, the best one on the market right now for the price. I think anything that's like comparable gimbal-wise is going to be considerably more money, between $800 and like $1,200 would be like the comparable one, and that one's at like $400. So maybe if you have, something just got dropped off on my porch. Let's see. It's a mailman. It's a mailman of some kind, and I don't know if they dropped it off or not. I wonder if they just rang the doorbell and then left. I'm intrigued as to what's going on because I'm supposed to get some new plants in today, which I'm kind of intrigued if they were going to drop it off at noon, because it doesn't say that it was going to be here at noon. This does not look like the USPS guy. That is some Amazon guy. Okay. Not for me. But it's up in the lockbox. Dropped it in there, so whatever. No big deal. So Bentley says the Ronin SC had that first, aka my baby. The Ronin SC came out after the Weebill, I think, if I recall correctly. I think. Copy. Let me see. Let's look when the Ronin SC came out. Ronin SC date released. Really, there it is. I'm a big fan of DJI stuff. July 17th, 2019. Release date confirmed. So the Weeble Lab I got at the beginning of last year. So yeah, and as Bentley's saying, it has the self-calibration. Yeah, the old oh, let me close that. The where did my window go? Did I just close the internet? What happened here? I somehow closed the internet? Why is that? Oh. Okay, well, I guess if you minimize the internet, then it just freaks out and does that. Okay, so never mind. I guess it somehow closed the internet. I don't know if I interrupted the stream or not, but hopefully we're fine. Let's see. Yes, the Weeble S just came out. This is the new one. I had the Weeble Lab. So, yes, this is the newer version. The Weeble S just came out. I took it to Europe, and it worked quite well. And, yes, it does have the self-calibrate and all that kind of stuff on it. So, I don't know. It does whatever. DJI, yes, I have DJI equipment. Like I have the Osmo Action. I like DJI stuff for sure. I just have to, personally, the Zion Weeble S, I think, is kind of the best one out there right now. But I did close the internet, so I guess we'll see what happens. That is super weird. Why did it do that? I don't know. The old computer over here is just having hiccups, but that's life. Where did my other window go? There's that one. But it kept my other chat open. So let's just open this chat. Okay, there we go. I think I got everything back to normal. Zombie Drummer is here. Yes, the internet is closed today. Longhouse Incorporated just made it. So thanks for coming out. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Where did my email go? Because we had somebody brand new to. We got to go to Outlook. What? That is the what? There. Open up Outlook there. We had a brand new Patreon today. Greenmand coming in. We finally got a new patronizer. We've only got a couple of them this week, this month. So there's only a couple to. Let me see. Where did my notifications go? Is that my thing? No. Why is this running so weird? I don't know. Who are the newest? Oh, it's alphabetical. Oh, we don't want alphabetical. Okay. Well, I guess we're stuck in alphabetical mode on that. That's life. All right. I'll go to the app then and give a shout out to the brand new patronizers because I can do it over there. There. Let's see. Jerry X. That one was deleted, so I'm not going to shout that out. Elizabeth, brand new this month, and Greenmand. Those are the only three new patronizers. So thank you very much. It's pretty easy to only give a shout out to 3 people, right? Except it takes me somehow forever to get that done. Longhouse says, I've been doing pretty good at making your live streams. Say I might be a fan. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. We are, we're in the process of building our little community here. Hopefully fund some bigger projects as time goes on. I understand as Kevin mentioned there in the chat. Yeah, but it's expensive. Yes, I mean, electronics are more expensive in Europe, I definitely did notice that while I was there. I had to buy just a simple patch cable for my headphones so that when I flew home, I would be able to listen to the sounds of movies and stuff like that, and not use those super cheap earbuds that they give you. That, I don't know about you guys, they make my ears all like not happy by the end of the flight. So I have full ear enclosed headphones that I normally wear, but those are Bluetooth, and I did not feel like listening to 10 hours of podcasts. So I ended up watching some movies, and I didn't have the patch cable that plugs into the headphones and plugs into the headphone jack on the airplane thing. And so Johan and I, we went to like an electronics store in the Netherlands. I can't remember the name of it, but you guys know, it's like one of those electronics superstore things. We went there, and that patch cable was €15, which is like basically $20 in the US, which here they're like $4 or something. So just something simple like that. Like, for whatever reason, like, electronic stuff is more expensive over there. So, I get it, but I've definitely noticed that, some of the people that do video production and stuff like that come over to the States, they'll often like order electronics while they're here, like via Amazon or something like that, and have them dropped off and then take them back. Now, I think you're supposed to pay the VAT or something like that on the way back. If you guys don't know in the U.S. what VAT is, it's the value added tax. So it's basically just the big lump of taxes that are supposed to be paid. So I'm not sure how that stuff works, but I guess that's like the big reason why things are cheaper. Johan mentions that it's called Media Market, which is pretty cool. I'm glad to hear from Johan. It's good to see you in the chat, brother. I am working on some videos, so you guys get a chance to check out some of Johan's place and some of the Netherlands. I don't know if I'm what's the word? I don't know what's the word. I'm being a little bit nitpicky about the edits and stuff like that. So I'm just putting more effort into the edits. I just want to have a better quality product. I spent a lot of time and money to put those together, so I don't want to just slap a video and be like, here you go. Considering how many other videos I already have filmed right now that I can do that with, that I'm just going to keep putting those ones out. And keep working on the Netherlands stuff. And I guess I'm just saying, I'm just putting more work into it. I just want them to be better than the average YouTube video. 54 Punchy says, order your Amazons through this link. Yep, that is our shop there. We are an affiliate of Amazon, so if you click through Amazon links and stuff like that, yes, it does give us a kickback. But if you're already buying stuff at Amazon or whatever, it doesn't change the price or anything like that. It just lets you know, or just lets Amazon know that, you're here and whatever. I met Dennis at Vivarium in the Netherlands, which that is a 100%. That is a convention I would recommend anybody to go to if you have a chance to go to it. It's quite a nice convention. It's not oversized. It's not undersized. There's just a lot of good stuff going on there. My guess is it'll probably be a little, even a little better next year. So that would be my guess from talking with the coordinators and the people running it. It seems like it's going to just get better and better. And, if that's the case, I would 100% recommend. If it's even just 10% better than it was this last year. Definitely worth it for anybody to go to that for sure. So definitely check that out. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm caught up with the chat. All right, so let's jump into the title of our video here today. So, aquatic ecosystems, do they require plants? Now, I know that some people out there will kind of jump on me for this one, but there are a few aquatic ecosystems that don't really require plants and stuff like that, and those are some cichlid. Basically, the easy way to explain it, some African cichlid ecosystems don't necessarily require plants, but even in my opinion, the sump and the filtration and stuff like that for how small those systems are compared to the actual wild ecosystem. I mean, you got to think like Lake Tanganyika. How big is it? You know, how big is Lake Tanganyika, and you bring, you know, basically a thimble's worth back to your house, and you've got some fish in there. It's it's so much smaller size compared to the actual ecosystem that, yes, some plants in the sump to help with filtration and things like that, especially with overstocking that you generally have to do to kind of spread aggression in cichlid aquariums and stuff. Yes, I would recommend plants for those systems. And one of them that, you know, would be equatable. I do actually have some video from one of the places that we went to in the Netherlands that was just a basically a giant cichlid aquarium. They were using tons and tons of pothos and things like that growing out of the aquarium to help keep it filtered and stuff like that. And it is possible to run an ecosystem without plants, but I think just as a human trying to run a small ecosystem, which is our aquariums, that yes, I would definitely consider them to require plants somewhere. Now, there is a point where these systems are going to have water runoff. So you're going to be doing water changes. You're going to be doing, there's a lot of things that you're going to be doing. Now, even cichlid aquarium wastewater is usable in some kind of application, whether it be a garden, some kind of aquaponic system, a hydroponic system, any of that kind of stuff. That's to me where the plants come in, that I think it should be down the line, that you're not wasting that water, to make sure that you're using as much of that water as fish keepers do. We end up getting more and more and more tanks, and I think you know, a lot of the first world countries, you know, whether you're talking Europe or you're talking North America or Japan or whatever, you know, we do send a lot of water down the drain. That's not that big of a deal, realistically, in our opinions. But if you're doing 300 gallons of water changes a week, that's a lot of usable water and a lot of usable nutrient that's just either going to end up at a processing plant or, you know, possibly just sent back out to sea, and then you're not getting the full use out of it. And I just think it's important for us as fish keepers, whereas we normally end up getting more and more tanks, right, to try and figure out something down the line that is benefiting our use of part of the ecosystems and stuff like that, and especially just the water, and start to eliminate some of the waste. So do I think ecosystems require plants? Technically, no, but I would say that if we're good ambassadors of the hobby and good ambassadors of and taking care of the animals and critters that we have, that it would be considered a requirement in my mind that you would actually be doing something with plants to essentially offset any kind of waste that we're doing from our system. Yes. Now, my ecosystems. The little ecosystems I have are not extraordinarily reliant on plants. I could probably get away with running them without plants, but they are plant focused. So the focus is to run plants and then have whatever critters could be in that ecosystem that I've built, right? Then I can add those critters to them. So I'm not one of those people that gets the fish beforehand these days. I've fallen prey to that in the past. I've accidentally gone to a store and fallen in love with this fish, and I really want to get this fish, and I may or may not have been prepared for that fish ahead of time. I've done that, and I don't ever want to do that again. And if I was to give advice to anybody who's either starting out or somebody that's new or just a couple years in, it would be to avoid that at all costs. So, basically, where I'm at is I build an ecosystem around plants and then add things to it later. Andre Saul says, yay, live stream when I'm not sleeping. I would remind people that if you are a premium YouTuber, right, if you have a premium account on YouTube, you can actually, YouTube is giving out free super chats. That was something that popped up on my reminder over here. YouTube is giving out free super chats to premium people. So I do appreciate super chats. Yes, I just wanted to point it out because I was watching David Pacman with the impeachment hearing stuff going on. I was watching David Pacman, and he brought that up, and I realized, like, oh, I could send him some free super chats. So I wanted to mention that to people out here, that if you are watching some other channels or whatever, and you have a premium account, you probably have some free super chats. They just give them to you now if you have a premium account. So heads up on that to anybody that's watching this now or anytime later. Kevin's Aquarium says, have a nice day. He's got to go. Well, good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Just wanted to say hi. Enjoy your videos and live streams. Greetings from Germany. Ooh, Sebastian. What's up, Sebastian? Good to see you. Let's see. Dennis has 2 biotope tanks without plants. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely do some biotope stuff without plants, but I feel like if we're keeping a bunch of aquariums and stuff, that we would definitely want to make sure that down the line we're doing something with that water, because honestly, sending it down the drain is the big giant waste to me in my mind. Now, am I 100% correct in that characterization of it being wasteful? Maybe not. Maybe I'm only 70% correct or something. But either way, in my mind, I feel like there should be something down the line happening. Like our chickens, for instance, are a good example of, even though it's chicken poop and chicken waste and stuff, we don't just like throw that into the garbage can. And you know, one of the downsides with chicken waste is that it does take like a year for it to essentially cool down, so we're able to use it as fertilizer. So we do have to put some energy into not just like throwing away this chicken poop. We do have to add it with compost and stuff like that and allow it to break down, and then we can utilize it even further down the line. So our chickens eat a lot of our food waste and scraps and stuff like that. They make us eggs. We eat the eggs, and even their waste, you know, we scrape down, clean their coop, and clean their yard and stuff like that. And we take that waste, turn it into compost, and keep the cycle going instead of just like throwing it into the garbage can, right? So I feel like that's the same sort of cycle that we should all be kind of looking at building. I'm going to be going in more in depth into that stuff this year regarding more of the greenhouse stuff and things down the line in my system that I got right now. You know, dependent on whatever projects I get, you know, in the next coming year, I'm going to be building some of that stuff here. And some of that will actually be happening fairly soon. So I did want to kind of mention that a little bit because some of that stuff's going to be happening pretty soon. I just am close to getting the reef tank out of my fish room and taken care of, and then I can start setting that up. I'm still trying to orphan that stuff out. And then also on Facebook, I'm trying to sell some of my old equipment. We shall see how it goes. So Facebook is a less than friendly place to try and sell some old cameras and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Because the 6D Mark II, I love this camera. I just don't use it that much anymore. I used it on the trip to the Netherlands because I needed an extra camera while I was there that I knew would do exactly what I wanted it to do. So trying to sell this camera, selling some other cameras that I just don't use that much anymore. There's just no way for me to use 3 cameras, like, realistically. It's just, how's that going to work? I don't understand how that's going to work. You know what I mean? So trying to sell this 6D Mark II. Great camera. Works really well. It's still in good shape. It's got my DNA all over it. But I will clean it off and make sure it's clean before it goes out. But definitely love this camera. But like, one of the downsides for me, what I was going to do is I was going to turn this into a streaming camera. But the unfortunate part is that we do have the HDMI out and all that. But the only downside is there's just seems to be no way to get rid of the bracketing and stuff. Like, so the information off of the screen, there's no clean HDMI out, as far as I can tell. I haven't been able to find any kind of hack to get that to work. Whoops. Knocked my phone off. All right. So I'm trying to do that, trying to do a few things, and as soon as that stuff all moves out, then those projects will kick off. They will kick right off, because I already have the tank. I have the tank and all that stuff all already. I got that used from a guy a while ago. I found a good deal on the tank for doing that project. So it's just sitting in my trailer out in the alley. There's creepy aquariums in trailers out in the alley. I see Preston John is here. He's actually in some of the posts today that we're going to be going over. So seems like a lot of people don't really have anything to say about plants in the ecosystem or not. Though I do find plants to be a really important part of the ecosystem. I just think they get ignored on the back end, which is what I'm trying to promote for 2020. If there was a thing I was promoting for 2020, that's it. That's going to be the thing, because we don't really have any sponsors coming up for next year. We have Patreonizers, so we're going to go over to the Patreon. You guys will see my mouse clicking around over here. We got some good Patreon posts here this week for sure, so we're going to run through these pretty quickly. And you guys will see my mouse over here. This is me live on the page, hitting the little heart button and stuff. That's how I keep track of what's going on, and people will also get their little notification that I hit the heart button, and they would know it's 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. right now, and that they would be like, oh, that's when this jumped in. Ed Start says the chickens are fed with plant trimmings from the coop. Well, they're not fed from plant trimmings from like Aquarium Co-op. They're from my fish room. They get fed those plant trimmings that I know that they can have. The one that I'm worried about feeding them is the bulbitis. For some reason in my head, if I have bulbitis scraps in my hand, that's the one that I think to not give to the chickens. And I'm not sure why. And maybe somebody out there will tell me that, like, maybe I read something somewhere that they can't have it. But I don't know. Okay, so Jessica Thiergartner is in the chat right now, even when we go through the Patreon post here. So we like that. Jessica Thiergartner says, hey guys, I have 2 questions. This pic shows a steel-colored shrimp, which I have read that eventually they will turn back to their brown down the line, right? Is this color normal? Everyone else is red. Second question will be after this one. So I'm trying to see exactly the steel coloring on this shrimp. that you're talking about, and it just looks like they have less full-bodied red is what's going on. And with cherry shrimp, the Neocaridina is typically that's a male. The males won't have the full-on coloration that the females normally will. It's fairly common for Neocaridina males to not be full red. It's more often that you will see them all red from the females. Now, mixing in other colors of Neocaridina shrimp will eventually color morph back to the wild brown. Although it is kind of interesting that the wild brown is starting to become sort of like desirable for people because there's just not that many of the brown ones out there. So I know I saw somebody posted like wild Neos a while ago, and they were all sold out like super fast, which I thought was interesting because I don't think there's that many people that are actually live like line breeding cherry shrimp from wild anymore. So I think it's just people are like, whoa, those are brown. So yeah, I don't know. Preston says plants are the backbone of my fish room. Dennis says, do you have a tip to defeat my beard algae? Blackbeard algae is pretty easy. Glutaraldehyde on a triple dose daily for a week. So whatever the so Seachem, I think Seachem Excel is in the Netherlands. I think I saw it there. But glutaraldehyde, glutarudahaldehyde, however you say it, is normally referred to as glut in America, is actually an algicide. So if you do like a 3 times dose of that for a week daily, and it will turn red and die. So the 2 questions is this color normal? Yes, this color is normal for Neocaridina males typically. Now, if you were to look up like a Rili shrimp, R-I-L-I shrimp, you will notice that there's like this real distinct like line in them that is almost this bluish clear color, and then red or whatever other colors they happen to be. But generally speaking, the males are fairly clear. They're not as pretty as the females, that's for sure. The females are normally fully colored. Here's the second question. I apparently have nematodes in my tank. I have seen only a few. I was really hoping either of the tetras or the rasboras would eat them, but I feed too good, I guess. What can I do to kill them? Thanks. The easiest thing to do is to lower your feeding. You're probably feeding too much. If you start to restrict your feeding, most of the little microworms and let's see, like nematode type stuff and planaria and things like that, there won't be enough food for them to eat. They'll die back, and you won't see them as often. I'm not super stressed out about planaria or that kind of stuff. I'm really not. I find that the size of my aquariums generally plays into that. When I had like little nano tanks that were like 10 gallons and stuff like that, I stressed out about it. And I would get like planaria out or whatever. I'm trying to think of what that medication is called. Planaria X or something like that. Planaria, or I could do like fenbendazole. Out. I'm trying to remember what that medication is. But nowadays, with like I have big tanks, so I just don't really care that much, unless I see like the arrow-headed ones. Those are the ones that I don't want in there. But it's pretty rare that I ever see anything like that. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I always did like the dog dewormer, the fenbendazole, but there's a planaria one. I'm trying to find one that's like specifically planaria out, but maybe they don't sell it anymore. It doesn't seem to be showing up on here. But I could probably do a fenbendazole dosing video at some point in time. I think if there's like 100 comments from people on this live stream after its upload, then maybe I'll make one. But I'm not 100% super stoked to make that video. But I could put it together. I know I have some fenbendazole upstairs, so I could do it. I had to see if one of my tank has planaria in it, I guess, first. I'd have to find a tank that has some in it. But this doesn't look like the arrow-headed one. This looks like the round-headed planaria, so I wouldn't be that concerned about it. I would just reduce the feeding. But you could definitely go through and do some dosing and get rid of the planaria. Okay, our next post is from Jerry X, who is a new Patreon, you guys. So let's give him a quick round of applause. Yay! Clap, 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 clap. Let's see. Okay. Somebody's uploading new videos. Oh, it's me. We're live now. And I got like an eyelash in my eye. All right, so Jerry X says, hi, I'm the new guy from the UK. I've been lurking for a few months now and just got on board last week, so I thought I'd introduce myself. I have 3 tanks, a 340-liter, which is 90 gallons U.S., unplanted with a pair of Midas cichlids. So, yes, that's a good example right there of not necessarily needing plants, but in like the sump filtration and the hang-on back or something like that would definitely come in handy. 240-liter, which is a 60-gallon U.S. planted community, mostly Crips and Anubias, which is good to hear. 70-liter, which is 18 U.S. gallons, shrimp and fry tank, mostly with Java moss, Java fern, and guppy grass. He says, I love fish. I struggle with plants, but I'm trying, and I enjoy the challenge mostly. Here's a pic of the 240-liter as it is now. Still very much a work in progress, but slowly getting there. See you around. Cheers. From Jerry. Oh, thanks, Jerry. Oh, Preston, I don't want your planaria. I'm trying to get your Galaxy Rasboras from you. I don't want your planaria. Jessica Thiergartner says, I work at a vet hospital as a tech to make it clear. Oh, oops, feeding too much figures. The herd will have to be restricted. We used to have fenbendazole at work. The granules, all I have is the suspension, which won't work in the tank. Yeah, I can't remember if the suspended fenbendazole would work or not. I've only ever used like the pellet / granules, so I don't know. I don't know if the liquid will work or not. I kept all my brown cherries and put them in a different tank. They look good brown, like a yellowish stripe down the back. I'll take some pics and post them later on the Discord. Well, thank you, Ricardo. There's a perfect example of somebody who's not only I don't know if Ricardo's a Patreon or not, but he's definitely a member on YouTube and a member on the Discord, which I find the Discord to be, I think the best tool as far as like the community can use. It's like an IRC chat. I think we're up to 100 and let's do some math. 125 people on the Discord now. So is it the most lively thing in the world? It's not super crazy. It's not overbearing. You don't get a million notifications a day. Maybe if we got up to like 10,000 people on there or something, it'd probably become super annoying. But right now, our community is pretty solid. We're doing pretty good. And I definitely enjoy it. And somebody asked, like, how do I get the Discord link? How to get the Discord link? You can either become a member on YouTube. You can become a member on the Patreon. So the membership on YouTube is like $5 a month. The membership on Patreon is as little as $1 a month. That's the minimum, $1 a month. You can go all the way up in the number if you want. You can raise it, you can lower it. So if you wanted to do like $10 for 1 month and then be like, yeah, I'm going to do $1 a month after that, hey, totally cool. And you can find the links once you become a member on either of those. So, yes. And somebody asked me, which do I prefer? Realistically, like, I don't really have a preference of how people want to support the channel. I literally am, I literally just try to stay focused on the fact that people are supporting, and that's good, which is cool. It would be like if, it would be like if somebody was, I don't know. I can't think of a good analogy right now, but it's like, it just literally comes down to like people are supporting and helping out, and I appreciate it. So whichever one works best for you is why we have multiple. Otherwise, it would be what it is. And, the reality is that like, complaining about people supporting would be ridiculous. Complaining about YouTube revenue is pretty ridiculous. Like, it just is what it is. YouTube wants people to become members now, right? Because they want to make more money. YouTube's a business. It costs a ton of money to host. And there's millions of people like creating stuff on YouTube now. So they created a membership system that costs money, and they want their people to do that so they can make more money realistically. It is helpful to a creator like me that people want to support. It doesn't really matter whichever way you want to do it. YouTube's going to restrict videos and do whatever they do anyhow. You know what I mean? Ikarian Fish Nerd says, why is YouTube keeps on unsubscribing me from most of YouTube channels, including yours? That I don't know. A big part of that, I think, has to do with if people become inactive in following a channel, I think it unsubscribes you from there. I think the reality is that like YouTube's going to do what YouTube's going to do. And like now with the COPPA laws and all that kind of stuff that are going into place, it's a weird thing that they have going, is that they're just going to keep doing crazy stuff, and it's just going to keep going that route. So, I started the Patreon page because I realized that YouTube really wasn't going to support creators very well unless you have like 1 million subs or whatever. They just weren't going to do that. So I started the Patreon, and then eventually I got the membership thing, and, we shot up to like 75 members, and it has stayed that way for months and months and months now. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. There's like some days that YouTube says I get like 10 new subscribers. And then if you like reopen the app the next day, it says -2 for that same day. So I couldn't tell you about like why YouTube works well or not, or any of that kind of stuff, because it definitely changes day to day with that company, and it just is what it is. So I am going to at some point start doing some broadcasts to the Discord and things like that whenever we can figure out the logistics to make that like work properly. We're gonna keep doing that, or we're gonna keep working on doing that and that kind of stuff, because who knows what happens with the COPPA laws coming up in a month and a week. So 5 weeks from now, plus the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission laws that have gone into place. If you like moving forward, I think if you don't like give a full disclosure that like it's somehow like reviewing something or whatever benefits you, and you're not like clear about it, you could get in trouble, I guess. Now I don't know. I pretty much stay away from reviewing things if I didn't pay for them anyhow, except for some of the stuff I get from Aquarium Co-op. And so that's pretty easy because I always tell you guys, like, hey, Aquarium Co-op's a sponsor. We have affiliate links, so it's all pretty clear, I think. I think it's pretty clear. Let's see. Mark Verhagen says, hey, Joel, tuning in from the Netherlands. I was your almost 25,000 subscriber at Vivarium. What's up, Mark? Good to see you. Thanks, man. Let's see. Okay, I'm caught up on the chat. So let's go back to the Patreon post here now that I've rambled on about YouTube for a little bit. The Fishy Mailman sends this in. It's a Fight Electric. It's this LED screw-in light bulb. It seems to have good spectrum. And there it is. There's the front of it. And he's asking if anybody has played with these yet. I have not. And I looked up a link, but I closed all of my web browser windows earlier somehow. And so let me see if I can't find this again. I had found it earlier, but now I'm going to have to find it again. Light electric bulbs, LED, daylight. There it is. Where did it go? Gosh, I'm wondering now if I actually looked this up on Amazon or if I just looked it up on Google. On the Google. I may have just looked it up on Google and been like, yeah, there it is. Where did it go? Oh, I don't know where it went, but I don't have a link for you right now, so you guys are going to have to figure it out yourself, because I must have looked it up somewhere else. I don't know. Because it popped up. All right, let's get my chat window back open here. Okay, there we go. So, I have not tried this bulb out. I am interested in trying this bulb out. I have tried many different kinds of either LED bulbs, T5 bulbs, incandescent, high-pressured sodiums, halogen, fluorescent, spiral fluorescent tubes. Man, the list goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. And to be honest, this looks a lot like, and I don't want to say a Par 38. What is it? This looks like a smaller version of the Par 38, which is Par 14, I think. Ooh, I sound like an idiot right now because I can't remember the par rating. But this looks like the smaller version of a Par 38 style screw-in base bulb that is basically like an LED conversion bulb. So you don't have to change. You don't have to change your light fixture or anything like that. You can just change the bulb to the LED one. I've found some in the past that worked really well, but they do have a tendency to spill a lot of light, which means there's going to be a lot of light all over the room that you may or may not want as far as the directional goes. I have not tried this one as far as penetrating underwater. I obviously haven't tried this one specifically, but Par 38s do have a tendency to work fairly well penetrating underwater, but anything over 20 inches, it really has a tendency to fall off, which is kind of one of the reasons why I recommend like the Fluval LED. I would definitely like to try some of the Twin Star and Chichiros, however you say that, light fixtures. I haven't been able to try those for any kind of long period of time yet. So although I was bugging George Farmer to put in a word for me to see if we can't get like some Twin Star fixtures sent out for testing, because I want to be able to do some tests side by side. And of course, this weekend he is getting married. So congratulations to George on your wedding day bliss, which should be a lot of fun. I know he's super excited, and so shout out to George. Happy wedding this weekend. What is it? What do you say? Congratulations. I remember I got in trouble. I went to a wedding sometime, and I told them, happy wedding. And they were like, what's wrong with your brain? And I was like, I think it's funny. And yeah, no one else really thought it was funny. But I still think it's funny to say happy wedding instead of happy birthday. But I guess you're supposed to say congratulations as if, I don't know, they like won an award or something, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they feel like they won an award. I haven't been married yet. Married. Maybe people feel like they won an award. I don't know. Says Jessica Thiergardner, what do you recommend, or anyone actually, for a 10-gallon? Mine went out and was debating on what type. I'm guessing recommendation for light would be my guess. For like a 10-gallon, I would probably get that Fluval Nano light because it does have the app built into it. I have one of them that I've been using on my sump to my reef, and it works great. I think it was like $60, so it's not an outrageous amount of money. It's not free, obviously, but like a 10-gallon tank like that, it would be nice and clean, and to have the app, so you don't have to have a timer and that kind of stuff like with it. I feel like is worth the kind of extra money, Rumbus says 55 watching, 24 likes. We can do better. Of course we can do better. We got to hit the like button, I guess. I have to throw it in that people will literally pick up their phone and go hit the like button because we're supposed to hit likes. We're supposed to hit 100 million in super chats. We didn't do that. We hit $2, which is good. It gets us it gets us halfway through to the $4 mark of pretty much how much videos make these days is $4. So, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. Just got copyright strike. So I would probably recommend that Nano Light, but obviously, I've had plenty of 10 gallons in the past that I ran little T5s on, little T5 tube fluorescent bulbs. I don't like on a little nano aquarium. It's kind of, to me, it's taking up too much electricity to run a nano tank. So kind of a waste, in my opinion, of electricity, and it's not really needed. But I do like that one. There is who makes that little nano light? UNS makes like a nano light, I think. Is that right? But how much is that thing? That thing's probably even more expensive, I'm guessing. UNS Nano Light. There it is. Oh, sorry, it's not UNS, it's ONF. Flat Nano Planet Aquarium LED light. Well, this dang thing's $110. So I can't really recommend a $110 light for a small tank like that. The ONF Flat 1 Aquarium Light 36 inches, $500. Yeah, so there's a lot of people out there that have yelled at me about how expensive the Fluval lights are. Here's the ONF version that's only 36 inches long, unlike the 48-inch long ones that I use. And these ones are $500. They're $489 for what's considered like a pro aquascaping light that has an app with less features built into it. Maybe the light spectrum is a little slightly better, so it's got a little bit in the 640 nanometers. I don't know what all the green is doing in there at 540, but it does have like the 450, 440 spike, which is pretty good. So I bet it would work well. I don't know if it'll work $500 well. So, and the app looks like a lot less functional than the Fluval app, honestly. So I don't know. If those guys are super pissed, send me one out and I'll test it, I guess. So yeah, I guess I can't really recommend that. Oh yeah, here's the Kessel light. The mounting arm itself is $75.99. So as much as I do like the Kessel one, just the arm to mount it is $76. So that's not very helpful. How much is the actual light for it? So the Kessel 360X Tuna Sun is $420. I don't know how many of these I would need for my 240 though. 5 probably, I'd imagine. Having messed with one of them in person, I think I'd probably need 5 for the 240, I think. So I don't know. I'd love to have Kessel lights on some things, but they're $400 a piece. That's just too much. I can't even rationalize that in my head because the new Canon RF mount lens is what I'm going to be saving for the next couple of few months. So at least that's something I'm going to use for a really long time. A camera lens I'm going to use forever. So I'll be doing that. But that's going to take a long time. But $500 a light, it's just kind of too much. Oh, Jay's Crazy Obsession says his like button doesn't work. I'm curious about yours. My guess is that all of our like buttons are broken. Although I did want to mention, and I mentioned this earlier, if you are a YouTube Premium person, if you have a YouTube Premium account, they're free Super Chats. Google is giving out free Super Chats, so you can just click the Super Chat button, and it will be like, hey, there's free Super Chats if you want to redeem them. Looks like Big D Smoke did that with a $5 Super Chat. Says, yo, what's up, Dennis? We got to do some donuts pretty soon, but I got to hit the gym a little bit before I do another donut meetup because I realized I got on the scale. I was 2 pounds over. I was 2 pounds over my target. You guys, which is not good. So I got to go run around and lose a little bit of weight before I go to another donut meetup. That's just real. That's just real reality, you guys. Got to shed a couple pounds. I don't want to get too much dad bod going on, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that Vicky's a vain person, but, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that I'm saying that she's not a vain person. That's what I'm saying. I got to be a good example to my baby and shed a couple pounds. Big D Smoke says, I'm sorry, but for me to pay $500 a light, it's got to do water changes on the tank and kick in a little rent. Yeah, that's pretty much the deal. Bentley says, I need a million bajillion of the dang things. Yeah, I would love to have a bunch of Kessel lights, but they're just too expensive for what they do, and they're not necessarily like growing the plants better or not. But Preston John sends this in. My man, your man, he's a producer on the channel. If you guys don't know, he's super generous with his patronizing. And thank you very much for being such a big support, John. And this is crazy post right here, because anyone interested in purchasing the Tetraodon, how do you say this, pustellatus, the redline puffer, the Cross River puffer. The Cross River puffer, he can get them now. $1,100 each, and get them in around January or February, which is insane. This is crazy insane that a Cross River puffer would be available like at all, to even exist, to even be able to get one in, to get them ordered. He just got word in that we can get them for $900 each if we order 5 of them. I'm in at 3, so we only need 2 more. So Preston just needs 2 more people to get 1, or 1 more person to get 2. And that brings that price down pretty considerably. So that's not knock $1,000 off. That would be pretty big time, right? The Cross River puffer is such a rarity. in the hobby. Like, this is exciting to the point that I've only ever seen one in person ever. And I do have to admit, it was kind of a sad situation because, it's just like a sad individual puffer that was just meh, so I'm not going to recount that because it was just kind of sad. But this is crazy to actually see somebody be able to get one in to the U.S. as an actual importer. $1,100 each is a lot. $900 each is a lot as far as I'm concerned for me personally, because I would need to get two, which is like $1,800. I would need to get a male and a female and hope to somehow breed them. And I don't know if I am up for that, but if somebody out there is looking for a cross river puffer, which there are a ton of people that are out there looking for them, like Dennis. I know Dennis would love one, which is kind of wild, man. Like, it's wild that somebody would even be able to get these really in with any kind of assurance, I would love to see these getting bred in the U.S., just like the Congo puffer that I have. That came from Preston. That's the guy, you guys, who's been able to breed them and actually be supplying them to a bunch of people in the U.S., which is just wild in its own right. So if we could see the cross river puffer like happening, I'm all for it. I don't even know. Like, I mean, if somebody gets these in and breeds them and can sell them at a reasonable price, it would be awesome. That would be awesome. So I hope to see this happen and hopefully see them come to the U.S. Dennis with a €10 super chat says, because I do this stuff at Nikki and Dominique. Oh, I don't know if anybody saw, I think Nikki put her video out with me in it. Nikki and Dom are two awesome YouTubers I got to meet out of Vivarium. Those guys are awesome, and I can't wait to get that video out of all the awesome work that they did with the Make-A-Wish Foundation and their booth and all that stuff. I do have interviews with them that's going to be going in. So, and those will be going up on the channel at some point. So I don't know when. I'm not promising anybody when this stuff will go up. It might be December. And somebody would be like, oh, you're trying to get better AdSense from the project that cost a ton of money and did cost an extra $500 to get home. And I will tell you that, yes, that is part of the strategy. I don't want them to come out in the month where YouTube pays less than when could be next month and they pay more, right? That's just business strategy, right? All right. Johan says, I wish that puffer, which I know Johan could handle it. I know for sure from my personal experience that Johan would be able to handle some crossover puffers. I just don't know if he would have time to breed them. I don't know if he'd be able to do that. It's Nature Man with a $5 super chat says, thanks, keep up the good work. Well, thank you. I'm going to keep going, and super chats help do that. Zombie Drummer with the keep it up sticker on the $5 super chat. Thanks, man. The weightlifting keep it up guy. Yes, I do have my 25-pounders over there. I got to throw those around today and make sure that I get my half an hour of lifting in today, which is going to actually kind of work out because the early stream has a tendency to mean that I make my workout schedule work. Does that make sense? Like, if I definitely compile all this stuff during the day and then do my live stream in the later afternoon, then I typically sometimes I miss my workout because it's like, it's the evening, the Vicky comes home, I get the baby from daycare, blah, 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 dinner, all that kind of stuff, and then trying to come down here and work out at like 10 p.m. at night, but right before you go to bed is a little bit crazy. So Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Let's see, but I really have to go now. Good night and midday, and good midday for the people in the USA. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for coming out. He said he had it. Where did it go? In chat here. He had posted it. There it is. Aqua for Kids. Next year we'll be back at Vivarium, which is cool. Yeah, I hope to be at Vivarium again next year. And I really would hope to be able to bring some stuff for fundraising. I didn't even know that was going on. Otherwise, I would have brought stuff for charity. 100%. That's what I would have done. So. Now I know for next year, so hopefully that'll be like a big charity drive I'll be able to do next year with the YouTubers from Europe. John Preston John will let you guys know that he has extremely white hands, as he mentions right here. I've got extremely white hands. The cool cherry shrimp picture. Excuse me. Shrimp look great on the green. These are some great shots from Preston's Fish Room, which I do want to go to Preston's Fish Room at some point in time. And get to film, even though he was like, my fish room's not a big deal. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It is a big deal. If you think it's not a big deal, it's a big deal. And I want to go. And I want to do that. It's something I want to do. So that's just how it is. Also, some cherry shrimps. As you can see, fat female here, all red, head to toe, whereas a male would be much thinner and less red head to toe. Hashtag hide. Oh, yeah. That is a weird spot for any fish to be, and that's just reality. Here's the last one. Can you see the celestial pearl danios? They are hard to get photos of, but video is easy, and I agree. CPDs are kind of difficult to take pictures of. Gotta have everything kind of set up just right, and then get some good shots of them. I've gotten a few over the years. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere in the hard drives, but right? 54 Punchy says to order fishes from Bob Steenfoots. I guess Bob Steenfot's selling fish. I heard about that a little while ago, and I have nothing to do with any of that, so I can't tell you if it's good or bad or indifferent. I don't know. No clue. I don't know where he's getting his fish from. I don't know how he's doing anything with any of that stuff, so I have no opinion one way or another. Big D Smoke says, if I just spent so much money between property taxes, homeowners insurance for the year, and my San Francisco trip, I'd give up the money for one right now. Dennis, figure out if you can do it or not. As I think he was saying that they weren't even going to ship till January or February, which I'm guessing that's probably the time of year that they can do that. Johan's Mabu is already growing out. His Mabu puffer is getting big. Yup. His Mabu puffer is getting big, and it might be. I mean, I think you still got some time before you're gonna have to get a bigger tank, but I trust you're gonna make that happen. All right, I think I'm caught up. Okay, I think I'm caught up with the old chatteroony there. Yeah, if you guys don't have a Congo puffer, a Shoutadeni, or the Scootin' Fruity puffer like this, I would recommend to get one because they're awesome. They are awesome. Awesome possum. Neato mosquito. I love my little puffer. I do hope to get some more at some point in time, but then I realized I'm not going to breed them, so I'm not in a huge, gigantic rush, but I almost feel I wonder if, it seems very specific, how to breed them, but I really wonder if you really have a tank set up, if you'd be able to, if you would just end up with some babies at some point in time, but who knows? A lot of my breeding projects are that way, where I'm just yeah, let's see what happens. Give them a good environment that's close, and we'll get babies somehow, right? Which is another reason I don't have like pleco caves for my bristlenose or anything like that. So Rumbust gave us some pointers here. I don't know if you guys saw this last week. He made a pleco cave out of his broken mug, and it's brilliant. Although I don't understand how a mug could cost $22.66. The Rörstrand Swedish Grace Blue mug somehow costs almost $23 a piece. Good Lord, that's a lot of money. I think this cost $3 at the... I guess I was at the thrift store. But I don't understand how a mug could cost $23. But for all of you who don't want to replicate my cave design, here's the model of cup you need. Or for all of you who want to replicate my cave design, here's the model of cup you need. Thankfully, they're not quite as pricey in Sweden. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, why is it so expensive for this mug? It's like $23. I'm like, $23 should be a pack of 6 or 8 of mugs, right? That's what I'm thinking. That feels right. The brand goes back as far as 1726, although production moved from Sweden in 2005 to where, I don't know, but it sounds to me like they probably automated it and sent it somewhere terrible. No names given. It's just somewhere with slaves. I don't know. Virtual slaves. People that make 50 cents an hour. You know what I mean? It just feels that way, like it's a conspiracy to make mugs super cheap. But who knows? Not me. I don't know anything about the mug production. I'm just saying it feels that way. Maybe search someone with a bigger tank soon. Oh, that's a good point, Johan. You might have to find somebody to rehome them too, because you would need to buy and set up a much bigger tank, or the same size tank, and then move everything to the other same size tank. Yeah. So maybe you rehome them. I know that this like seems weird for like people in the US to be all, like adopting fish as they get big, but most everybody that I met and saw and encountered and toured and all that kind of stuff was pretty adept fish keepers in the Netherlands. So, and it seems like their market is a little healthier than ours over here. So to adopt things out and stuff like that, which, I might be wrong, but that's just the interpretation that I got. All right. Jerry X with the one, is that a 1 pound? That's a 2 pound. That's a 2 pound super chat. It says 1 pound per hour of sleep saved by the early stream. Ooh, that's actually a good reason to super chat. Saving some sleep. Johan has been sending us a fish of the week, and we are back with another fish of the week, the chocolate gourami. The chocolate gourami is a species of gourami native to much of Malaysia, Sumatra, and Borneo. Chocolate gouramis reach a length of 2.4 inches. They're not that big. These fish have a chocolate color with golden bands running down their bodies. They're restricted to peat habitats, unlike many other labyrinth fish, which breed by incubating their eggs in a bubble nest. This species is a mouth brooder. Even more unusually, this species is a maternal mouth brooder, with the female incubating the eggs in her own mouth. All other anabantinoid mouth brooders are paternal mouth brooders, with the male carrying the eggs and young larvae. Oh, I didn't realize that with the chocolate gourami. I didn't realize that. They are omnivorous, but in the wild, they feed primarily on insects. They are generally fussy eaters, preferring to eat live foods or frozen equivalents over flake food. They are popular aquarium fish, but are challenging to keep without optimum water conditions. They are susceptible to bacterial infections and skin parasites. They require soft, acidic water. They prefer a higher temperature than most fish. Tank temperature should be maintained at 77 to 81 degrees Fahrenheit. How many Fahrenheit is that? 77 all the way up to 81 Fahrenheit. As you guys know, I run my tanks at about 74 to 76 these days. Any higher than that, and I'm just wasting power. But I don't have any plans on getting chocolate gourami. I've had a few opaline gouramis, some flame gouramis, some chocolate gouramis. I never bred the chocolates, though, or I don't think I bred any gouramis. I don't think I ever bothered to try and do that. But, yeah, I've always loved them. They're great accident fish. I got to admit, there's some really nice ones in Europe. When I was there, I got some really cool video of some gouramis, which you guys will get to see that at some point in time. UG Aquatics says, Corey says all the time, every other country is way more into aquatics than the U.S. Yeah, that's my interpretation also. You travel international, you go to the fish tank stuff, you go to people's fish rooms, you go to stuff like that. It's just a higher, they're just more professional, they're just better. It's hard to explain. It's like they're 10 years ahead of the people here, you know? Nature Geek Show just popped up with the coffee mug. Have a coffee mug from the Hallmark store. It's got Snoopy on it. It holds 14 ounces of coffee. It costs $12, but got it on sale for $9. No way I'm spending $20+ on a small coffee cup like those. I get the feeling that it's like a pack of those mugs, but I have no idea why they're that expensive. It's just kind of weird. Maybe they're porcelain or handmade or, I don't know, something crazy. Our final post from the old Patreon page, which I would highly endorse anybody to go check out the Patreon page and help us build our community. One of the big things, one of the big project that we were working on with the Patreon is to try and get to the funding level that we'll be able to start what we would like to call the air quote maker space, right? And what's the maker space? The reality is there's just not really that many public spaces that have aquariums in them that aren't either privately funded as an aquarium, so that community funding that have tax dollars, this and that. There's those kinds of things. But there's no real public spaces in the U.S. that aren't either a business of some kind, with strictly like being a storefront, where people are trying to sell you driftwood or whatever. There's just not a lot of spaces like that in the U.S., which is kind of our plan for the makerspace. And there's a lot of people out there that would be like, yeah, well, I'm in the Netherlands, I'm in Florida, I'm in New York, would never be able to go to the public space. Well, we'd be able to set up all the cameras there, tanks there, and ongoing projects there that we want to be able to bring to the internet to do more production and stuff like that. And, if we don't ever fund it and have it be a public space, well, then maybe I'll just continue to do the average YouTube thing where I build a bigger fish room than the fish room I already built here. I'll build a bigger fish room, and it won't be open to the public because it'll be in my backyard or something like that. So, needless to say, we definitely want to fund that and make it into a public space because it would be open in a commercial space. It would be able to have insurance and have people come to it, and be able to film at it. And we'd also be able to have guests come to town where I live and possibly have the community come to meet up in person, those kinds of things. So that's kind of the plan with the makerspace, and everybody on there contributing gets us closer and closer to hopefully hitting that makerspace goal. Now, to be brutally honest, I was super excited about the makerspace. It really felt like there was a lot of momentum to try and get that going, and for whatever reason, we started to lose that momentum. And I'm not saying I'm discouraged or not going to do it. If it gets funded, I'm gonna grab that ball and run with it as fast as I can. But the realistic, pragmatic side of me is all right, I just have to keep going on building my own projects and keep building them bigger. So I'm just going to keep doing that. Yeah. No angel investor has ever come in to try and really, push the stuff over the top. So we're just going to keep going. We're just going to keep going with the thing. And it's looking like I'm probably going to buy property somewhere next year and maybe build something there. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just leave and go to the mountains, and you guys occasionally get a fishing video or something from me. Who knows? I don't know. Kind of rambling here a little bit. Let's get back on track. Rumbus says, I might have stirred things up a bit. And I appreciate this because that's definitely what's been going on with my tanks. I've definitely got them stirred up, making changes, moving things around. And it's certainly been an ongoing thing with, shaking up my tanks, moving things around, definitely changing the scape, and realizing that I've got some moam for sure in some of my older setup tanks. And, So I feel you, but don't worry. Little filtration. Move that water around a little bit. It'll be fine. It'll clear up. Happy to say that my 240 is all clear again, so I'll be able to film a couple of the finishing touches today. VB23 says, plants are a must. Anyone here have experience with the G-Co aquascaping kit on Amazon? I don't know what that is. Let's go ahead and highlight that. I'm going to copy it, and then let's go take a look. Where's Amazon? There's Amazon. We were looking at the ONF flat nano planted aquarium white LED for fresh water. But let's go see what a G-Co aquascaping kit is. Let me see here. All right. Here it is. Got it. Now I got the link. Copy. Let's run over here to the chat. Let's open up the chat. Boom. Paste. Enter. This is what we're looking at right now. So we definitely got some... these are the pretty standard Chinese-made aquascaping tools. Really, I'm going to be honest with you, nothing wrong with them. If you're in the U.S., I personally would like to recommend, hey, just buy those from either Amazon through the link or head over to Aquarium Co-op because Aquarium Co-op also has... I lost my links from earlier because I closed all of the windows. Right now, Aquarium Co-op has a hardscape sale on. So, all the rocks and sticks and stuff that you guys regularly see me use, that's all on sale right now. And I'm going to figure out, what was the code. Maybe 54 Punchy knows what the code is. But let me get this. Copy. And like I said, I closed all of my link windows and stuff, so pretty smart move. So paste, enter, affiliate link, copy. So I would say, what I would normally do is, I'd be like, hey, go through this link. Hey, here's the deal. You go through Amazon, it'll give us a kickback. If you go through Aquarium Co-op affiliate link, it'll give us a kickback. So whatever, it's pretty self-aggrandizing to be like, hey, man, you guys should probably support the show by buying stuff. But, hey, that's how it goes. So if you don't want to do that, then don't do it. You don't have to. I'm not like twisting your arm or nothing. But those aquascaping tools honestly will work just fine. I really like the ones, what are they? The Aquavitro ones that I got from Seachem. They just seem like a little higher quality, but you have to go to a store to get them. So it could be a monumental pain in the butt for you to go to a store, whereas you could just get them fished or get them sent to you. Get them fished? Why did I say fished? What's wrong with my brain? You could just get them sent to your place. That could, but those aquascape tools, they work fine. Just dry them off. That'd be my only thing. They might rust a little bit. Terry's Tropical Tank says, I would so watch some steelhead fishing trips. Yeah, I mean, I might go do steelhead at some point again, but It's been a while since I've gone real big fishing trips or anything like that. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. VB23 says, you plan on working for the co-op in the future, or is it just temporary? Hey, as long as there's work to be done, I will go do work to be done, you know? I don't have any plans on not working there. I don't have any plans on super working there. They are located way up in Edmonds and Everett, so... And I don't have any plans on moving to Everett or Edmonds, so, you know... the reality of me working like 5-6 days a week all the way up there is never, it's never going to pan out. Just because like the amount of money that would need for me to like relocate up there is just absurd for any company to be like, hey, you need to move up here real bad. So, yeah, I do continue to plan to work there, you know, and the reality is, like, I work 2 really long days because the commute is so long. I do have plans on moving to most likely Eastern Washington is going to be probably where Vicky and I move at some point. Not really going to say where. But Eastern Washington, we currently live in Western Washington. There's a mountain range in the way. So it's a fair bit of a move. It's definitely a couple hundred miles. But we'll probably move over there, and then I'd likely still work at the co-op. I would just have to commute and stay a night on this side of the mountains and then go back the next day. But I do plan on continuing to work there as long as there's work that needs to be done. I will continue to do it. I'll continue to show up and do the best I can to accomplish the things that I'm supposed to do. MD Fish Tank says, obviously I'm going to push the Tropica tweezers and spring scissors as they sponsor me, but seriously, they are amazing. MD, I would love to... check out the Tropica tweezers and stuff. Shoot me, I don't know if you have my email or not. Shoot me a message. Or tell Kyle over at Tropica to email me about, like, and I'll try their tools out. I would love to try their tools out. Or maybe I'll have to find Kyle's email or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll bug George. Be like, George. George, I know you're getting married, but I got a bigger thing. We got bigger fish to fry. But yeah, MD, I would love to try out Tropica stuff. So, Nature Geek Show. Quick question about Patreon. If I want to follow you there, does it have to be a monthly payment, or is there a way to do it free? I want to support you and several other creators, but can do it. Following on Patreon is a monetary exchange. It's basically like if you're wanting to sponsor something, like you would have to sponsor it. That's just kind of how it goes. Like Patreon can be as little as $1 a month, and honestly, if you can't afford $1 a month, you shouldn't be worried about supporting anybody's show. I think I would go to work if that was the case. I'm not saying that everybody should be able to afford $1 a month or anything like that, but if that's the problem and you're like, I can't afford $1 a month, I would turn off your phone right now and go to work. That's what I would do. Wash dishes somewhere, because that's what I did. Cut onions for somebody, because that's what I did. Deliver newspapers, because that's what I did. Become a street sweeper, because that's what I did. Clean construction sites, because that's what I did. There's all sorts of crazy work that I had to do in the past to get where I'm at now, and I will continue to do crazy work to continue moving forward. I'm not trying to sell it to somebody as an insult or anything like that, but if if $1 a month is too much of an obstruction for, somebody, and you're at that point right now, just drop what you're doing and go find a gig that's going to pay you something to get something going. Johan says Bavarium and Joel gave me the planted tank disease. Busy with some ideas. Yeah, I mean, the planted tank disease is strong. I love it. It's something that I love and I love to do. And, I've continued to work as best I can to try and continue this to be my gig, So, yeah, I just do the best I can. And a lot of days I do have to take out the garbage and, shovel shit and all that kind of stuff because I want to keep doing this as my gig. And like I said earlier, there's never been like an angel investor that has come in and been like, here's 30 grand, let's make a show, or here's $3 million, let's make a movie, or any of that kind of stuff. So, yeah. I've never had anybody come in and do that and be straight up like, let's fund making a season of TV or something, or whatever you would want to call it. I've never had anybody come in and be able to do that, to really solidify a work schedule that was like, all right. Because I've always been pretty much behind the gun of like, oh, we got to make the next video. You got to make the next video. You got to make the next video. And you hope that the next video makes enough money so that you could make the next video. And realistically now it's like it's realistically between $4 and $10 is what a video is going to do. And I actually looked this up on one of my top performing videos of all time. Has like 230,000 views. So 230,000 views. Hold on. I'm gonna look this up because I don't want to accidentally quote this wrong. So let me see. Videos. No, I need dashboard. Let's go down here. Over here to analytics. Go over to this. Here we go. Let me open that, and then I need to go lifetime. So let's see. This was uploaded. This video was uploaded December 30th, 2014. So we're coming up on the 5 years that this video has been up, right? So watch time hours. So the amount of hours that this thing has been watched is 16,100 hours. So I don't even know what that is, but 16,000 hours this thing has been watched. It's been watched 230,000 times. And its total revenue is $479. $479. So this video has made in 5 years about $100 a year. Although that number is actually way down over the last year. So if you can see the chart, it goes like this, and then in April of 2018, it takes this big giant drop, which is fine. I mean, whatever. I'm not mad at it, but that gives you an idea of a video that has 230,000 views and has been watched for 16,000 hours. Is $479. So it's like, look, dude, I'm not mad at it. It's just a reality of like, okay, this is the space that we all operate in, and okay, it's all about like memberships and likes and shares and clicks and whistles and all this kind of crazy stuff. And you realistically come down to it, it's like, it's just this weird business space, and YouTube is a giant Google company that just wants your information so it can make more money. UG Aquatic says, keep your head up, Joel. Planet Aquariums will really take off in the U.S. within a year or so. Hey, my head's up. I'm saying that I'm willing to keep doing what I'm doing to keep moving and moving and moving and moving. And I'm definitely going to keep doing that. Like I don't have any intention on disappointing my daughter or Vicky Toria, my spouse, or my family or myself or you guys or anybody. So I'm literally going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to stick to my morality. I'm going to stick to my morals and not like sell any of us down the river or any of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing what my plan is, Shelby Ray Lane, what's up? Says, you would, Mark. Tool belts are sexy. Speaking of that, Mr. Justin made me a new tool belt. He made me a new tool belt for working up at the aquarium co-op. Justin is Corey's cousin. Super cool guy. Great dude. Runs does a bunch of the managing for that for the aquarium co-op, and he loves making leather. He makes leather stuff, and so he made me a leather tool belt. And I don't know when I'm going to what's the word I'm looking for here? Style that for you. Do a fashion show. I don't know what the word is. But I don't know when I'm going to show it off for you guys, but it has octopus stamped into it, which is hilarious. I definitely enjoyed that. James Hulak says, MD Fish Tanks, ask Tropica for a tool belt. Ooh, I don't even know if they have a tool belt, but I have a leather one. I don't know if I want to wear it in the fish room because it is leather. Vis Aquarium says, hi, what's up, Vis? How you doing? Nature Geek, so it's only $1. That's easy. I was thinking it was some high payment thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Nature Geek Show. So, like, the reality is, like, it's variable. Like, you could be $10 a month, $20 a month, $100 a month. I think $15,000 a month is the joke level, right? Like, it's a joke. I just put it on there because I was like, what's the maximum that somebody could do this? But you could literally put in $1.48 if you wanted $3.92. But $1 is the minimum. Like, it just has to be $1 at the least, So that's just why I like the Patreon, because somebody could be like, oh, I got $1.75. That's in my budget, and maybe that's what they think it's worth. I honestly feel like, people that I take in like 10 hours of stuff a month, I patron them. Like Knowing Better is a good example. I'm a full, let me see, where am I? I want to see. I dropped my phone on the ground, so I can't really, I guess I could pick it up. But I want to see where's it on the desktop? Posts from, oh, here we go. There it is. It's over here on this tab. My membership. So Fish for Thought. I pretty much watch all of his videos. I love his videos. He's hilarious. Knowing Better is one that I Patreon. The Fish Nerd, I Patreon. Ray's Aquaria, even though she's no longer active. Aqua Pros, Pamela Earlywine, Bentley Pasco, whom I'm going to up my patronage of them. But those are just some of them that I take in content from them, and so I patron those channels. You know what I mean? So even if it's just a wash, like, I feel like it's for the benefit of everybody that everyone has like a bigger patron page. So, even if it's like somebody that I really like, let's say that I patron somebody for $5 and they patron me for $5, I still feel like that's advantageous just for people to have more I don't know. Maybe it's dumb. Maybe that's dumb. Maybe I'm not thinking of that correctly, but that's the reality. I thought you were talking about tool belt for aquascaping tools. I'm gonna need a tool belt for aquascaping tools someday. Right now, I just use those magnetic brackets, and I just screw them in where I like them to be in my fish room. So, all right, we're coming up on the hour and 50 minutes. All right, we've been on here for a grip. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. I want to say thanks to everybody that contributed on the Patreon page. I'm going to go back to the regular old screen here. There we go. Johan says we're going to bring each other to higher levels. That's a good point. That is a good point. That's what we all want to do. We want to bring our communities all to a higher level. So, yeah. So I guess that's what it is. Let me look through the chat here. And also remind people that if you're a premium YouTuber, or if you're a premium YouTube member, you got free Super Chats this month. So make sure to get those to somebody. Jerry X, Zombie Drummer, It's Nature Man, Dennis Lures, Big D Smoke, and Rumbust are Super Chatters of the day. Thank you very much. You definitely make it better. You know, with Super Chats, makes it a little steadier to know that it's not going to be $4. It's going to be a couple dollars more than $4. So I appreciate it a lot. Everybody's saying later and leaving. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. We only had 52 likes, but that's an early stream. So, yeah. But I want everybody to know that I really do care about you. So show up to the Discord. if you can. Oh, I hear my dogs barking. Hopefully it's my plants. I hope my plants are up there getting dropped off in the front lockbox right now. That would be awesome. Let me go ahead and close this.